rectilinear motion. Till now we have understand and we have introduced several dynamical variables just like displacement, distance, velocity, acceleration. But if a particle moves along a straight line, then the magnitude of the velocity is equal to that of the speed, and the magnitude of the displacement is equal to that of resistance. So we will not use the vector sign, and we will treat the velocity and the speed in a similar manner because the particle is moving along a straight line, and the displacement as a distance for the same reason. So let us derive the relations between these quantities. We have understand these quantities separately, and we have known how we derive one quantity from the other, just like how the slope of the velocity versus time curve gives us the idea about the acceleration. But now in this lecture, the 14th lecture of the rectilinear motion, we try to link these quantities by an equation so that we can use it in numericals and the problem solvings of different scenarios if the datas are given. Let us consider a particle of mass m. Why I have saying the particle instead of the object? Because we can consider any object as a particle which is just point like, which has a point mass. Here I consider a point mass so that we can represent any objects. So a particle of mass m is initially at t equal to 0 time, it is moving with a velocity u. Okay, and after the time t equal to t, its velocity becomes v. And here we consider that the velocity of the particle after the time t is greater than that of u. So we can say that since the final velocity is greater than that of the initial velocity, so we can say the particle is accelerated by a. So we can write down, let us consider a particle of mass m is moving with a velocity u. Here I have not given the vector sign. Why it is not, I have told. And accelerating by a. Here the acceleration we have considered it is constant for the time period. The velocity of the particle, becomes small v. The velocity of the particle becomes small v, and it covers a distance s. It is distance or displacement does not matter because the particle is moving along a straight line. So if I want to represent this thing on a straight line, let us consider this is a direction of moving. At t equal to 0, the particle is here and its velocity at that time is u, and after the time t equal to small t, the velocity of the particle is v, and in the meantime it covers the distance s, and the acceleration of the particle is a. So the acceleration, so we can say the acceleration, that is a is the final velocity minus initial velocity divided by the time interval. Here I am taking these things over a time interval, and I have considered that the acceleration that is constant, that is not changed, that the velocity is increased at the same rate with time. So if I try to represent in terms of equation, then it will be v minus u divided by t, and from it we get the equation at equal to v minus of u, and it gives v equal to u plus at. So this is the first equation of motion. If a particle is initially moving with a velocity u, and after that it is accelerated by an acceleration constant, acceleration a, and after that it have the velocity v, then velocity becomes v, then we can identify this particle using this equation. If any of these three values of this equation is known, then we can find out the other value. Here the particle is obviously not moving with the uniform velocity. Since it is moving with non-uniform velocity, so we can say the average velocity. So we can say the average velocity, that is v average, VAVG equal to u plus v divided by 2. This is the average velocity. Therefore the distance or displacement, whatever be it, along the straight line it is same. So we can say it is S equal to v average velocity into time. So v average equal to u plus v divided by 2 into t. After that, if we substitute this equation 1, that is the first equation of motion, it will be u plus at divided by 2 into t. So this will become 2u plus at divided by 2. If I multiply t, then it will be t square. So after that it will become ut plus half of a t square. So this is the another equation of motion, but it relating the dynamical variables: displacement or distance, initial velocity, the time, and the acceleration. So the second equation is different from the first equation in that sense. Here, in case of finding out the distance from the average velocity, we have replaced the final velocity by u plus at. But if I calculate in the different way, that is, if I say s is the distance and it is v average into time, the average velocity into time, then it will be u plus v divided by 2 into t, and this t can be replaced from this equation as, that is, at equal v equal to u plus at, v equal to u plus at. From that, if I put the value of t will be v minus u divided by a. So it will be v minus u divided by a. Here I have taken v minus u because v obviously greater, that's why v minus u. So it is a plus b into a minus b formula. So it will be v square minus of u square divided by 2a. So this thing can be written as a is equal to v square minus of u square divided by 2a, and it will be 2as equal to v square minus of u square. So it will be v square equal to u square plus of 2as. So this is the third equation of motion, relating another 4 dynamical variables. Each equation of motion contains relations between the any 4 dynamical variables. Obviously here, if I know the final velocity, initial velocity, acceleration, and displacement, relating these four things. If any one of these three is known, then we can use this equation to find the fourth one. But this is not only the procedure of finding the three equations of motions. There are obviously several procedures of finding these equations. One of them is the graphical method, another is the calculus method. Here I am doing just simply from the concept and by the method of substitution, nothing else. And now if I calculate this thing with the help of the graphical method, then how it will be? Let us see. We know that the area of the velocity time graph gives us the displacement and here the distance also. So it is representing the velocity and it is representing the time. If I consider at time t equal to 0, the velocity is u. The velocity is not 0, the velocity is u. And after that, the particle is moving with constant acceleration and it reaches the velocity v. It reaches the velocity v and after a time t. So if I want to calculate the displacement from this curve, but before that I want to calculate the slope of this curve for the time interval starting from t equal to 0 to t equal to t. If I want to calculate the time interval, then I can take this thing as a slope, but wherever I will take, I want to calculate the slope from t equal to 0 to t equal to t. That's why I am taking this big triangle, but I can also take any small triangles at any particular point, but at that time I will take the value at any instant, not for the total time interval. So if I calculating the slope here, before that I just name it as OA, B, C, D. So if I am calculating the slope here, so the slope will be, slope of the velocity time graph basically represents the acceleration. So the slope is basically the acceleration and the slope is basically BC divided by AC. But what is BC? BC is basically BD minus CD. This is the thing. What is BD? BD is basically V. What is CD? CD is basically equal to AO and AO is basically U. What is AC? AC is basically T. So this is equal to A. So if I multiply it here, it will be AT equal to V minus of U. So it will be V equal to U plus AT. The first equation of motion we can obtain from the slope of the velocity time graph. If a particle moving at constant acceleration, if it starts its velocity from U and after time t its velocity becomes V. Now if I calculate the area of this velocity time graph, then obviously I have to calculate the area of this shaded region. But now for the time being we can separate this shaded region into two parts. Let us consider it is a triangle and this is a rectangle. So the area of the velocity time graph basically represents the displacement or the distance here. So I represent it by S and we can write the area of O, A, B, C, D, O. Okay, O, A, B, C, D, O. So obviously it is the sum of two known geometrical shapes, sum of the area of triangle A, B, C plus area of rectangle, you can say this is the rectangle OACD. OACD. So what is the area of triangle ABC? It will be 1 by 2. AC is the base, BC is the perpendicular of it, plus area of OACD. So it will be OA into OD. Obviously it is the U and it is the V. So if I want to find out AC, then AC is equal to OD. If I want to calculate the BC, then BC is equal to BD minus CD. What is OA? OA is this thing and OD is this thing. OA and OD. So if I replace all the values, OD is the time, BD is V, CD is basically equal to OA, so I can replace by U, V minus U, and OA. What is OA? OA is this U. What is OD? OD is this T. So if I replace the first equation of motion V equal to U plus AT, then it will be T into A, T, UT. So it will be UT plus half of AT square. So by calculating the area of the displacement versus time curve separately, by making it in a composite of a triangle and rectangle, we get the second equation of motion. But if I consider this thing as a whole, then it is the shape of the trapezium. At that time, if I want to calculate, then S equal to, we have to write the area of trapezium OABD, representing the same thing. All of we know that the area of the trapezium will be OD, half of OD into OA plus BD. OD is basically the distance between two parallel sides. OA and BD are the distance of the parallel sides. OD is the perpendicular distance between the two parallel sides. OA and BD are the length of these two parallel sides. So half of OD. We can replace this OD by AC also. We can replace this OD by AC because OD and AC have the same length, and just left this thing as it is. If I want to calculate the slope for the total time interval, just like here, if I say it is theta, then we can say that tan theta equal to BC divided by AC. So the BC equal to V minus U, and AC equal to time. Basically the slope of the velocity versus time graph basically represents the acceleration. So I can replace it here. I can replace this AC by this. So what is the value of AC here? The value of AC, if I want to calculate, the AC equal to BC by A. AC equal to BC by A. And what is BC? BC is V minus U by T. So it will be v minus u divided by t, and there is 1 by a also. Okay, so this is the bc by AC. So if I replace this thing, just see, then S will be equal to 1 by 2 into V minus of U divided by A T. What is OA? OA is basically U. OA is basically U, and V, and here BD, and BD is basically V. So if I represent this AC is basically, AC is basically V minus U by A, not T, because AC is basically T. So if I take this AC here, okay, so this thing will becomes that S equal to V square minus of U square divided by 2A, and after that this will easily become V square equal to U square plus of 2AS. So this is the third equation of motion from the graphical method. Now I want to calculate this using the method of calculus. Here I have considered that a particle is moving with constant acceleration. So we can say the acceleration is constant. What is acceleration? Acceleration is nothing but dv dt. So dv dt equal to constant. I can consider this constant is c. Okay, so I can consider this constant as c. So we can say dv equal to c into dt, integrating both sides. Obviously here I am introducing the indefinite integral. Since I am introducing the indefinite integral, so I have to use an integration constant. Obviously it is c. I have to introduce an integration constant, and that integration constant is d, and also I have to apply the boundary conditions. So if I have, after we do the integration, so it will be c is constant, so it can be taken outside the integration. It will be ct plus d. The boundary condition is when t equal to 0. When t equal to 0, at that time v equal to u. Initially the velocity of particle is u. So if I put it, then u into c into 0 plus d. So from it we get d equal to u. So it will be, we get v equal to ct plus u. What is c? C is basically a. So if I put it, v equal to at plus u, or more specifically v equal to u plus at. So this thing we have derived from the calculus method. Now just see, if I again consider that a is constant and that constant is c, obviously a is dv dt, the rate of change of velocity, and that is equal to c. We can consider it a also. C or a, basically constant. So I can just write this as dv ds into ds dt, applying the chain rule of differentiation. So ds dt is basically nothing but the velocity, so it becomes v dv ds equal to a. So if I take it on the left hand side, then it will become a ds. If I integrate both sides, integrating, we get v dv integration of a ds plus a constant, say it is small e. So it will be v square divided by 2, it is a into s plus e, which is a constant for integration. The boundary condition here we choose, if we consider that t equal to 0, then v equal to u at and s equal to 0, then that is initially displacement is 0 at initially, then the velocity is u. So if I put it here, it will be u square divided by 2 equal to a into 0 plus e. So e is basically u square by 2. If I replace this in this equation, then it will be v square by 2 equal to as plus u square by 2. The value of e I am putting here. So this equation at the end becomes v square equal to u square plus 2as. So this is the another equation of motion. This is the another equation of motion. The first equation of motion we will obtain by integration of acceleration, like this. So if I integrate this thing after that, then what we will get? Let us see. So the equation that we have considered, that is v equal to u plus at. What is v basically? V is nothing but ds dt at the rate of change of displacement. So it is u plus of a into t. So ds is equal to u plus at into dt. Integrating, we get integration of ds equal to u plus at into dt, and there is integration constant we consider, it is a small f, the constant of integration. So it will be s, u is constant, it is not changing with time, so it is dt. A is constant, so it can be taken outside the integral, so here will be t dt plus small f. So it will be ut plus of a into t square divided by 2 f. If t equal to 0 initially, the displacement is obviously 0. If I put it in this equation, then u into 0 plus half of a into 0 square plus f. So it gives f equal to 0. So if I put in this equation, then we get s equal to ut plus half of at square. So this is the third equation of motion. Three equations of motions we are obtaining. So the equation of motions we can find out from different procedures, by from the concept, graphically, and also by calculus. We will later apply this equation of motion in different cases, in different numericals, in different scenarios, Let us see in the next lecture.